Why do my drawings look flat? It might be the way you're using line. Here, let me explain. When artists refer to the weight of a line, they are referring to the thickness of a line. Different types of markers make different widths of line. Here I'm going to use a wedge tip marker that makes both thick and thin lines. I'm going to then use another wedge tip marker that makes thick and thin lines. And then I'm going to use a round tip marker that only makes one weight of line. And then you're going to see me using a brush tip marker that makes different widths of lines depending on the angle I hold it at and how hard I press. The next markers are very micro thin markers. They make gradually thinner lines. So when we refer to the weight of a line, we are referring to its thickness. When you put something in the foreground and it's supposed to be near you, you're going to use a wider line, a heavier weight of line to make it look like it's nearer to you, to make it pop out. The farther away something is supposed to be on your picture, the thinner or the less weight line you will use. When you are shading something in, you have to follow the three-dimensional form. I'm not trying to make a circle, I'm trying to make a sphere. So I'm cross-hatching using curved lines up and curved lines across. Make cross-hatching. Kind of like you're making a lot of little mini hashtags. But notice, because it's supposed to be in the background, that I'm using a very thin pen. For the middle ground, I'm cross-hatching again, but I'm using a heavier weight of a pen, also to make cross-hatching. And I am curving my lines just as I did in the first sphere. Curved up and around the sphere and curved from left to right. That'll increase the round look of the sphere. For my near sphere, I'm using a heavier weight of line, and I'm also going to use the brush pen. When you use the brush pen, if you lift it slightly, it will create a thinner line as it goes up. So the line will start thicker and then appear thinner. So as you can see, when I lift it slightly, I get a thinner line that appears to fade off. That is one of the advantages of a brush pen, but you can actually do it with just about any marker. Now let's look at the cast shadows. The table is flat. So instead of a sphere, when I'm drawing the cast shadow, I'm going to make horizontal lines and angled lines that appear to go off into the distance. I'm also cross-hatching, but these lines are now straight because the table surface is flat. I've already taught you about vanishing points and how things get smaller as they get farther away. So half my lines are going to be horizontal, going from left to right, and the other are going to go off towards the horizon line. But in any case, all the lines are going to be straight on the tabletop. And now you can see that I've used lines to emphasize three-dimensional form. By using a lighter weight of line in the background, a heavier weight of line in the foreground, placing my objects so that the objects in the foreground are lower on the page and the objects in the background are higher on the page, and varying the width of my line so that things in the foreground pop out and things in the background appear to recede. This is the Helpful Art Teacher answering the question, why do my drawings look flat?